Kia ora, Tony Wood here, the minister from Johnsonville Uniting Church, with another devotional thought for you as the weekend approaches. This week I was listening on the radio to an interview with a renowned expert in mental health, and the interviewer asked him, if there is one thing that you would like people to pick up on and take on board for themselves, what would it be? And the interviewer and the expert said, look, to begin with, let's be clear. What we're not talking about is people with clinical depression and that sort of thing that need medication, because that's a different field entirely. But for everyday people who just might be going through a patch where everything seems to be going wrong, or they're surrounded by troubles that are getting them down, he said he likes them to focus on what he calls the blue sky principle. And he explained that was, even on the wettest, greyest, darkest rainy day, there is still blue skies above the clouds. And he was saying, that the troubles that surround us each day, they are like the clouds that take away from us still seeing all of the good things we do have in our life. They take our attention and get us to focus on them rather than the blue sky, the good things that are still always above the cloud. That is great advice, I think, to follow, but it's also not new advice. Nearly 3,000 years ago, when the book of Proverbs and the Bible was written, the writer wrote in chapter 17, verse 22, a merry heart does as good as any medicine, which means exactly the same thing. Several years ago now, I had a year where I each week got sent a spiritual prayer practice to follow for a week. And one of them was to take 5 minutes, set your watch for 5 minutes, and just begin with the sentence, God, I thank you for, and finish that sentence over and over again until the 5-minute buzzer went off. Which is exactly the same piece of advice as keeping your focus on the blue sky and building a merry heart that God would like you to have. So for this weekend, try that as a spiritual practice, as a time of prayer. Take 5 minutes, begin with the sentence, God, I thank you for, and finish that sentence over and over again for 5 minutes and see what you come up with. Ka kite anō. God bless you this weekend.